family after you come to my spot. That's just what it is, for the record. Don't worry about asking me or asking somebody else, just go to one of my spots and you'll see. Nobody here that's here for the first time has not been to a spot of mine that don't love it. That's just what we do. Damn, my mic sound nice. Did you do something? Say what? Did that shit just change on me? That shit sound real good to me right now. Let me try this shit. Say word.
Say word.
Tell me that don't sound. Ladies, fellas, don't worry about it. Ladies, tell me that shit didn't sound right just then. All right, that shit sound nice. So, I'm not gonna spend a lot of time up here. I'm gonna get a few of these poets up so we can get y'all features up here to do their thing, man. They travel a little distance to get here, and I want y'all to enjoy it. So I'm gonna cuss. I'm gonna flip out. I might kick the chair over. Hell, I might just throw up and shit, right? I might just find some shit to do, because I got shit else to do. Right? I didn't even change. I didn't put my outfit. I had an outfit for y'all. It wasn't for me. Because I was gonna look good, motherfucker, whether you liked it or not. That's what it was gonna be. But I put this out. I bought this shit for y'all. I went to the store and bought an outfit for y'all, and y'all don't even get to see it. Y'all give it up for DJ Casada in the building. Got my man Hassan in the building. Y'all give it up for him. Got all the rest in the building. Y'all give it up for him. Got missing so many words in the building, y'all give it up for her. My dude, Jay Ball is in the building, y'all give it up for her. Kia Flow is in the building, y'all give it up for her. Y'all know my brother, Mr. Wicks, is in the building, y'all give it up for Mr. Wicks. So I'm running off these names because y'all know how great these boys do. We like to let everybody else shine, and I just want to be here just in y'all space for a little bit. So I'm not gonna do too much tonight because I got a lot of angry man energy tonight. So I'm not gonna be the angry man tonight. I'm gonna smile tonight just because I could do that. But if I get a little angry, don't worry, I'm gonna let y'all hear. Y'all know how I like to rant, right? Y'all know that's just what I do. So unfortunately, we're not on the stage because I had my mind was set on some other shit, right? But the way the universe is set up, they don't give a fuck what my mind say. My mind don't count, right? The universe is like, I'm gonna do whatever might be. You just have to handle that, my dude. It's just take it or leave it. Say word.
Say word.
You ever wake up in the morning and this is the way it's gonna be, and you find out that it's not quite gonna work like that. You say word. So without any further delay, man, we're gonna get this thing started, man. I want y'all to put your hands together and welcome my homegirl to the stage by way of Jackson, Florida. Y'all Duval! She hear us now. Y'all please welcome my homie to the stage, Miss Kia Flow.
Safe out here in this weather. Make sure you go over there to the bartenders and get your drink. If you want to buy me one, hey, go ahead. I think I'm on brown tonight, so that's what I think I'm on. I haven't done brown in a while. Brown, you down with brown. I think I'm just brown. But in the meantime, I'm gonna go and do a few pieces for you all. Be sure to check me out on my website, therealkiaflow.com. So you can find out everything that I do. I'm more than just a poet. I do a lot of different things. Funny girl, pretty much. Very unorthodox. So, but it's all love, and I like to go with the flow. That's my motto: go with the flow. My radio show, go with the flow, and my web series, go with the flow. So just check it out. Subscribe to my YouTube and all that stuff. I like to get all my plugs out because I just do the poems. Walk off stage, you know what I'm saying? I don't do too much out there. Just too much. Sometimes I long to get back to a time when Honey Drippers was sweet and when life was innocent. When red light meant stop and Mother May I was some of the best manners taught the man. I wish I could get back to a time when little boys would play crepe basketball on concrete streets and when yes ma'am is all you can say when getting smashed with a switch. Back at that time when you would have clothes laid out for the first day of school. You remember when the chair was sitting in the middle of the floor, shirt hanging over the top, pants on the seat, and a shoe peeking out from under each leg. A time when the night before Easter, you were sitting by a hot-ass stove with blue magic grease smeared all over your forehead, and your hair sizzled like a steak from the hot cone. I miss the times when we would walk home from school laughing and teasing, laughing till the crowd wandered down to just me walking home alone. Whatever happened to baby rollerblade, little Miss Makeup, stretch Armstrong, creepy crawlers in my buddy? Those days when kids respected their elders and when you rolled past the church, you turned your speakers down. A time when the box music channel was a poor man's BET. And when the street lights came on, your ass was in the house and you bet not get it from the table until your plate was clean. The world was still are starving from sea to shining sea. Life was so precious back when and there. Oh, how I long to taste those sprinkles. How could life have been so angelic? But I still can't forget about the struggles because that is what made me stronger. Sugar water was the next best thing since sliced bread when no Kool-Aid was available. And we had no shame smashing all the tiny balls of soap together to make one bar of soap in order to stay clean. Washing clothes with dish detergent and washing dishes with soap powder is a time I can remember. Whether the times were fun or foul, I wish I could bring them back. I wish I could capture those moments and replay them today because today life has no value to some. We're dropping like flies and it just makes me wonder, is it really your time to go or is someone taking that time away? The cry saddens me and the news angers me. Call me square or lame, but I just don't get it. Whatever happened to brotherly love? Has a need to belong become so great that we're willing to kill our future just to fit in? Hell, I can no longer worry about my brothers keeping me because I'm too busy worrying about him creeping me. Has a spot of territory become so prominent that we're willing to sacrifice our freedom just to say this is my block? Mind you, you don't own the shit in the first place. But day by day, blood stains the streets and seep into the sewage of our youth, becoming permanently embedded into their thoughts, transforming into their actions with no shame. All we care about is fast money, and our children can barely speak English correctly, but they know how to cuss. Or better yet, bus. There's no more bus. When life was simple and the air was sweet, when the music was smooth and the streets were safe. Sometimes I hope that when I go to sleep and wake up the next day, it'll all been a sick dream, but I know that day may never come. So all we can do is join hands by the masses and pray till our lungs collapse with sorrow. Praying to get our homes back. Praying to get our streets back. Praying to get those days back. Constantly saying we shall overcome and the change is going to come until our souls burst. Tears quenching our thirst, hearse after hearse. Bring those days back. Can we please bring those days back?
Hey. So check this out, I got another poet for y'all. Y'all ready for this next poet?
Yeah.
Alright, so y'all put your hands together. This is by far, this is a big part of my inspiration, even for us to get into doing poetry in Charlotte, because this dude's been inspiring me since he was so young, you know what I'm saying? And it's my brother, he's after me, my sister, and then my brother won't bring her to the stage. And I mean, dude, he helped write his first poem. He was 12 years old, man. Like, how does your mind even get to that point at 12? You know what I'm saying? And his style is just dope for me. So he told me not to do too much, but I can't help it. It's just that's my energy. Like I said, that's my inspiration, man. I look for the strength in him and my younger brother, man, and I love him like that. So y'all put your hands together for my brother. He's gonna come to the stage and do his thing. Y'all give it up for Mr. Wiz.
Hey,
First piece I'm gonna do is called Momentum, okay? The quantity of motion of a moving body, measured as a product of mass and velocity. Today's fashion, yesterday's atrocity. Forward motion with the weight of the world on top, we speak of motivation without momentum in play. Seems quick as we progress, we fell back to their way. For example, in less than 365 days, went from Django Unchained to 12 years a slave. So what fuels our engine? Could you see the gas rates? Hell, it's a tightrope race between murder and rape. Further we escape from the path, closer we see how we got here. Look at the dress code. Underwear became our underwear. So we sacrifice sacredness of what lies beneath. Though naked is the ocean, you gotta go deep for the reef. Some say sleep is death's cousin, but can't see past eyes' lashes. Because see, when you don't rest the body crashes. As time pursues, Some hold on to their youth to the end. Meanwhile, some youth will never be met. On a mission through prison, being coffins they found. Domino effect, can't even realize the knockdown. Profound lines in time find an exit to the maze, which is usually an entrance into another maze. Hell's a notorious story, well written on the page. In the blaze of glory, there'll be no glory in the blaze. See, it's a sinful mule and lust riding at the reins. In search of the weak link, they just tugging on the chains. Willie Lynch influences, smothering the brain. What some do to get a fix, some will do for fame. See, it's a game till you lose and you recap the plays. Probably pull for the chain when you had the leg. Decisions affect the outcome. Still we stand divided. Ain't even room for discussion, we've already decided. That simple mind attitude, you know I'll do it myself. That got you comfortable as the motherfucking help was wise. But blind eyes can never see their condition. Like prayer without motion to take with God position for you. But human race just sound like a contest, don't it? Not only do we condone competition, we own it. So who's pushing the buttons? Better yet, selecting contestants. Every obstacle's a challenge to be taken with relevance. Like every life lived is a lesson for the lives behind us. We get protective of our future, then we get reminded. Hell, they plot population control and democracy. I mean, to build the casket to bear more than one body. Even when Texans are amongst us, weapons armed and ready. Some usually don't pay attention to the effects directly. Broke the levees, moved to surviving, LA displaced families. Clean up in time to party. Sound like stolen land to me. He who state claim and set forth in every land he roamed. And it don't matter if you was born here, this is not your home. This is Babylon.
Right, Boyz.
Where eyes are on the tainted prize. So migration to this cesspool should be no surprise. If everything's about a hustle, then we built the lie. Because hustle means to manipulate for gain or rise. Words have meanings to manipulate for gain or rise. If you ain't teaching, then you thieving from the youthful mind.
Damn right.
Be mindful of the message that you program in. When motivating uphill, you can kill momentum.
You see, I was having this conversation with Billy Paul. I wasn't ready to go home. So I started telling him about the situation I had with this lady named Miss Jones. See, she was always ready for the world, like old Sheila. She was always ready for that let me love you down. But see, tonight my vibes went way past Prince. See, I needed some duty baby until her purple rain came down. But see, the problem is that my house is not a home, and here and now we sat and listened to this so amazing cover. While watching the Atlantic Star, I thought to myself, I was tired of being her secret lover. And see, even though we was in H-Town rocking and knocking the boots, our friend Whitney said, Houston, I got a problem because I've got nothing, you see. With all that huffing and puffing I was doing, KRS was like, yo, dog, you ain't really doing nothing but bluffing. And see, love should have brought you home with the Dr. Bay, had me zoned, man. I was running around crazy looking for a new addition. I was in need of a Mr. Telephone Man. You see, my candy girl, she had me locked in her popcorn. Love was shit. Yeah. Wasn't nobody doing no humping around as long as I had a tenderoni to be dreaming of. And see, last night, we had an argument. And I thought I would lose control. Because during the meeting in my bedroom, Miss Nasty, she decided she was ready to take control. And I was fiending for you to stay forever, my lady. But lately, you wouldn't come and talk to me with no TLC. So baby.
Hey, stop him, Doc.
You see, in this big condition, honey, you send me swinging, and it seems like you're ready for this love that I'm bringing. And this ain't no drunken love or no computer love or no teenage arcade move. Because see, me and Miss Jones, we type grown. We like to go arcades. We like to do what grown folks do. But see, in the midst of it all, I had to realize that I just want to keep Miss Jones as a part of my team. But on some Brooklyn Biggie shit, this was all a dream. Hey. All right, this next point, man. This next point up and bring to the stage. Like I can't even tell you when this brother takes me with this shit. Like I be like, damn, son, you really, you gotta do me like that? Like this shit is just on fire, man. And he's a great inspiration to me, man. It's an honor to meet him. It's an honor to bring him to the stage. I want y'all to give a big round of applause for my man, Mr. J. Ward.
So because this is an intimate audience, I'm going to do completely different poems than I planned on doing and see if I mess up. All right, second thing I have to ask you is, for the first part of this, you have to pretend that I have a good singing voice. Is that cool? Stay with me, 'cause you're all I need. This ain't love, it's clear to see. Won't you stay with me? I've heard it said there's a thin line between love and hate. I believe it to be just as thin as the line between I can't stand you and can't leave you. Between disappearing existence and normality, between fantasy and reality, they all fall somewhere between you, me, and this line. We are connected out constellations. You are as bright as the nearest star. I pretend to touch you. You are so close, yet so far. They say by the time light travels far enough to reach our sight, the star already died millions of years prior. Maybe that's why we have spent so long in denial of what we have become. Slow roasting supernovas, merging for meals, devouring each other's self-esteem, hoping space can heal what we've done. Believe me, I know I'm not the one to take relationship advice from. I never said we couldn't fix this. But when relationships tumble like Tinker Toys, there is more involved here than sticks and bridges and twists and turns. I can only tell you what I've learned. I've learned that not every problem can be fixed overnight. Some are fixed over countless nights of hearing her cry from the deepest parts of her and knowing it's because of you. I've learned that Rome cannot be rebuilt in a day, but a man's soul can be broken and re-broken over years that he will cry more when healed than when hurt. I have learned that women like to see a man sweat.
Yes, sir.
And it is not that you work hard. It's that you work hard for her. So after your 9 to 5 and then mowing the lawn and then taking the trash out, it is not that you smell good. It's that you smell like security, like safety, like trust, like fidelity, like responsibility. You smell like you are in love with her. The deepest love is the sweaty confusion. I've learned that this thin line connects us more than it divides us. I've learned that no matter what this thin line says, hate is not the opposite of love. I'm sorry is the opposite of love. Because when I tell you I love you, it will mean more to you every time I say it. But when I tell you I'm sorry, the more you hear it, when I tell you I'm sorry, it will mean less to you every time I say it. Apologies can only mend broken things. Broken things can only mend so many times, be glued, stapled, attached together so many times before the edges fray. Maybe that's why men don't say I'm sorry as often as we should. I've learned that this thin line connects us more than it divides us. I have learned that learning doesn't count. Doing is the only thing that matters when everything else shatters, like the myth of our Milky Way across the kitchen floor. When there is no use crying over what has been spilled. Breaking is the only way we learn how to fix things. And deep down I know this will never work. Won't you stay with me so it doesn't? What's up, y'all?
I want y'all to put your hands together like y'all mean it. Welcome a man to sound to the microphone.
Hebrews 12:1. That was his response. Eyes captured in the corner like a Gordon Parks photograph posed in the midst of his disdain was Carmen Jones. Not a tragic mulatto, but an example of his eyes of innocence lost. Hebrews 12:1. I listened to his scripted commentary watching Carmen. No Dorothy Dandridge, but still an actress waiting to be plucked from that corner like a card from the deck. But life had got good at playing hearts, quick to cast his queen of spades out of his grasp of responsibility on someone else she knew her role. Wait for action. Look at the car windows for a Belafonte or a Pfeiffer because they would try to put steel braces on her wrists and take her away from the only way she knew how to make a living. The only steady relationship she had was with the police. Her arrest record was a double album. Her arm was like a producer's hard drive. It was full of tracks. What was the reason? The logic. She sat in bedrooms and looping empty orgasms, filling back seats like Pro Tools. Cats just wanted the beat but no substance. No wonder they were one-hit wonders and her pimp was like Jimmy Iovine. She fell under his spell the minute she entered his scope, making money off over-accented masculinity, shady dealings where the aftermath of her work was only 50 cents. I wonder why she lived this way. Dressed in a gray dress and charcoal boots like she was wrapped in a storm cloud, lost her sunshine years ago when Daddy's little girl became the object of his devilish desires, and since she ran away, she's only known blue uniforms and no blue skies, Carmen. Made that pilgrimage to that corner every day like Mount Sinai, headed to the heavens asking for redemption and returning with 10 $100 bills like commandments, and the neighborhood just watched it happen. No faith in her salvation, no wish for something more, but I wish for a trumpet sound, a voice loud as thunder to instruct her escape. I wish that the next car she got into was driven by Donnie McClurkin, so this saint who fell down get updated on the possibilities for tomorrow. So they see a fallen angel. I see a miracle waiting to happen, a testimony waiting to be told. See, I know her breakthrough will be biblical, so I watch her like revival, and I know how she survives. Her back, that for me was best friends, knows how to bounce back strong still. She stands tall, regal, Carmen. These idol watchers can save you, but they would rather assault your character, but that's because they are afraid of your burning bush, because that is where men climb to cry to God for release, but they have forgotten their own sins. They need to consult that good book again, because upon this mountain, God gave this world through Carmen a reminder of his own fallacy, baby girl. You are worth more than the price of admission. A blockbuster is not your claim to fame, an Oscar is not your knight in shining armor. You should be awarded an academy instead of a jail cell or a halfway house. I wish the MGM stood for May God Move. I want to animate your prayers and show you how that dream works. They see snapshots of your life, but those Pixar knock a hold of you. And no matter how many cars you jump into, they've never taken the soul of you, Carl. These trials and tribulations will never last. And no matter what these critics think of you, you should never be typecast. Carl.
All right, so without any further shenanigans from me, man, let me hear y'all put your hands together for my man, Mr. Obi West.
I got a phone call that said she was in critical condition from a collision that crushed her car like a tin can underneath the foot of a 1,000-pound man. The caller said, "I'm surprised she's still alive because 9.9 times out of 10, a collision of this sort would end in nothing short of death." The news snatched my breath, but before he could relocate his dial tone, I was standing in front of the hospital. He said, "It's not looking good. We've done all we could, and she's still non-responsive. And I know that this is tearing you apart because I'm sure that you love her to death. You will not tell me that my wife, you will not look me in my eyes and tell me that my life is about to die. You're sure that I love her. You're sure that I love her to death. I assure you that death will not be tonight. So step aside and I'm going to love her back to life." Babies, it's me. It's me, your soulmate, right? Don't worry, you've been in a little accident, but everything is going to be all right. I'm going to talk love through your IV. All I need you to do is listen to me. Remember, we never really walked and held hands. We always laughed and said that was for amateur lovers. Instead, we floated and held hearts. We never talked through our teeth. We spoke through our actions. So every time we told each other, "I love you," we made sure every letter was notarized by God. I know that you can hear me. I'm only standing here today because we promised to love each other under one condition. We said it had to be unconditional. So remember those nights, whether you came to bed with your hair wrapped or whipped, I would rip the covers back and wrap my arms around you so tight that it made Saran question his ability to perform. Remember when you caught a cold and you was in the bathroom embarrassed to come out with tissue hanging from your nose, and I told you, "Baby, please, you can sneeze down a row of trees and you will still be my snotty-nosed queen." See, I need you to remember how I loved you, and I demand that you understand that I will continue to. Remember early in our relationship, you asked me if I loved you. And I looked you dead in your face with all honesty, and I told you, "Baby, listen, I know this may sound negative, but I'm not positive. I know what love is." But the other week, my heart tested positive for a condition it's never had, so I know something is different. I think that I'm getting close. Do you recall when we thought God recalled our relationship? So for about 5 or 6 days we split, and within that time, oxygen stopped paying visits to my lungs. Your appetite filed a restraining order against food. Our bones turned into coffins. We were dead inside, and the only way that we could regain life was to reunite. You remember when we used to play fight, and I would let you win. See, within that, the message that I was trying to send is I understand that we are a team, and I have no intentions on trying to stronghold or control anything in this relationship. Do you remember the time that you were on your cycle and your mood was swinging like pendulums? Your body felt like your dinner had been spiked with cramps, like you had been bitten with snake venom, and because I couldn't sexually explore you, you asked me if I wanted oral. And I told you, baby, this is definitely not just about me. You are definitely worth waiting a week for, and it's no fun if I'm the only person that's giving. So let's just wait until I can reciprocate. See, I need you to remember how I loved you, and I demand that you understand that I will continue to. Remember when family and friends put a burden on your shoulders as big as boulders, and your first instinct was to quit, but together we chipped away at it until we carved a manageable situation. Remember when the doctor told you that cancer was swimming through your breast, and the second he mentioned a vasectomy, you glanced over to check with me, and I told you, fuck it, cut them off. It just allows our bodies to get closer when we hug. Remember when chemo cut all your hair off, and you came home scared just to learn there was no attraction loss. I actually developed a fetish for kissing your scalp. See, I need you to remember how I loved you, and I demand that you understand that I will continue to. Remember when large amounts of alcohol was swimming through the halls of my veins. Remember when I tried my hands in cocaine. Remember when I was handcuffed to all this bad stuff, and you told me if I don't break the chains, that me and you would not remain, and I stopped because you matter. See, you are the reason why I am alive, so it gives you audacity to die. I need you to remember how I loved you, and I demand that you understand that I will continue to. If the doctor tells you that you have to lose your legs in order to make you feel comfortable, I will bend my foot back and tie my ankles to my thighs, order twin wheelchairs, and we will continue to ride by life side by side. I will hold hands and walk through hell with you. Doc, I think she blinked. I think she's showing signs of life. And do you remember that night that you, I, and God sat on the living room floor because your life was disassembled, and we put back together every part? See, that was just practice for tonight. And then the doctor, he looked at me, and he looked at her vital signs, and he looked at me, and then he looked at her vital signs, and he looked at me. He said, I think she's going to be all right. What did you do? I said, Doctor, I just loved my dead relationship back to life. Thank y'all for listening.